have 5 new messages. First message, December 26th, 10:23 a.m. Did you really head out? Hey, Haruki, about yesterday. Could we talk about things properly when you get back? Call me as soon as you get this. I left a message here and on your cell phone. Don't you ignore me, alright? See ya. Second message, January 1st, 12:25 a.m. Haruki, does your ski trip last into the new year? If that's the case, then at least make sure people can reach you through your cell phone. Do you not plan on attending my night-long vigil, even if I were to drop dead this instant? Anyway, I'll wait for your call. See ya. Oh, and let's get along well this year, too. Third message, January 1st, 11:54 p.m. You didn't go back to your old house, did you? You haven't been admitted to the hospital or something, right? Or taken into custody? No, forget I said that. I hope you're not just pretending to be out. Hurry up and come back, Haruki.
Sorry. All the messages on my home phone were from Takia. Well, only a handful of people know the number to this phone to begin with.
Thank you for using our voicemail services. You currently have 28 new messages. First message, December 25th, 12:38 p.m. Hey, it's me, Takia. Since your cell phone's off, I take it you're still with Setsuna-chan? You guys did check into the hotel last night, right? If you guys didn't end up using my reservations, I'm going to cry, you know. Well, whatever. Give me a detailed report once you've settled down. Remember to call me back. You finally did it. Congratulations. Give me a chance to say that to you, alright?
That was the message sent to my cell phone the day before our last conversation. Listening to it now, the fact that this was a message from 10 days ago is quite hard to believe. Things in life can be so surreal sometimes.
Second message, December 25th, 10:20 p.m. Senpai, this is Akira. I just finished work and I'm on my way home. It was really hectic today and yesterday. We knew we wouldn't have enough staff to run the restaurant, but everyone seemed to end up taking sick leave one after the other. Rather than faking illness or making poor excuses, I would have preferred that they just came clean with the fact that they wouldn't be able to come a lot earlier, and we would have been able to prepare accordingly. They tried to put up a good front in front of us, all while being unaware that it only ended up causing us more trouble. I'm not talking about you, alright, Senpai? You had a particular promise that you absolutely couldn't put off after all. I've gotten a lot of other things I still want to say, but I'll stop here for today. I'm already exhausted. Once you return to work, please lend me your ears again. You'll most likely be listening to me complaining though. Oh, and also, please let me know how you're doing. For once, I'm just a little worried after all. Well then, good night. Oh, and I don't know if this is one day late or not, but Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Rather than being just one day late, I'm already 10 days late.
Third message, December 25th, 11:45 p.m. It's me, yo. I finally got in touch with Setsuna just now. Did something happen? Setsuna said nothing happened and kept on smiling, and she wasn't crying, but no matter how I look at it, it's obvious she's feeling the exact opposite. What happened, Haruki? Just What happened between you two? Can we not meet up? If it's hard for you to face Setsuna, then just the three of us is fine too. I'll be waiting for your call. Call me as soon as you get this. I'll be available at any hour. Haruki, are you doing okay right now?
From then on, my surrounding circumstances began to shift dramatically. Afterward, Io and Takia continued to call me several times an hour until the next morning. It's not because they'd orchestrated all this. They sound genuinely worried about a close friend, and they're at their wits' end because of it. I can feel the uneasiness in their voices. Everything is all right now. The fact that I've been running away meant that those two had needlessly worried about me for too long. It seems that I couldn't even be considerate of that.
14th message, December 28th, 1:32 p.m. This is Kazuoka. You haven't shown up to work lately, so, everything going well for you? Even if you finish your work for the end of the year, that doesn't mean you've got time to rest. Everyone needs your help. Could you come over and help out if you can find the time? But I won't be here even if you do come. I'll be gathering materials in North America starting today. I'm at Narita Airport right now. I'll be going around places like New York and LA, and after I'm done with work, I'll take a vacation with my friend there. I'll come back around the 5th of January. The friend I mentioned isn't a man, okay? I'm pretty sure you've met her before, right, Kirahara? You know, Amamiya Sawako? It's just an annual trip with two women together, not involving any men, and it's pointless telling you, Kirahara. Sorry, just forget about what I just said. There you have it. Call me on my cell phone if anything comes up. Collect calls are fine since it'll be an international call. And feel free to call me even if it's not about work. You've got some personal problems you're dealing with right now. Am I wrong? This is the first time I'm leaving you a voice message, right? Always answer in one ring regardless of the time, so I'm actually quite worried. I'll say it again and again. Don't keep everything bottled up inside and destroy yourself. Well then, see you. I'm off. Have a good year.
Sorry for making you worry about me all this time. This is the content of Mari-san's third message. And those are the reactions of the people around me during the time I escaped from reality. During the busy period at the beginning of the new year, Sugiura also made several calls with the usual slight anger in her voice. I'm still unsure whether she called to complain or whether she was just concerned about me. There was also an incoming call from Mari-san in Guam, which surprised me a little. If I had answered that phone call, would it have turned into a long call? I seriously don't deserve having you all so worried about me to this extent. Thank you, everyone.
From now on, stay with me always, okay? From today, I just want to keep on dreaming of basking in the spotlight and hearing the cheers, singing my favorite songs with all my heart, and also together with the person I love.
Did you say our princess is back?
We thought she had returned, but the instant she got back, she suddenly shut herself into that room. See for yourself.
Oh, I see. So, how's progress? How much did she manage to get done?
I'd ask that you'd confirm that for yourself, President?
Don't joke about stuff like that. The princess will murder anyone who interrupts her while she's writing.
Then why are you getting me to do something like that?
Wouldn't it be more of a problem if the commander sacrifices himself instead of the soldier? Well, whatever. Let us just rejoice in the simple fact that there's progress right now, shall we?
Will we even make it in time? We've only got 2 months left before the first performance.
I think we'll probably be fine. Besides, it looks like she'll be able to create a very strong character this time around, to the point I feel pity for her partner.
It's a wonder you continue to put your trust in her, even though she pushes you around all the time, Prez.
There's nothing I can do but trust her. She doesn't joke around when it comes to the stage.
On the other hand, you could say everything else is a joke to her. Yeah, she's totally into it.
The princess is out of anyone's hands when she switches into that mode.
You two went around the stands together, did you not? You two went around the stands together, did you not? And danced together by the bonfire. Then had a parting kiss? But still, aren't you loved a bit too much, Haruki-kun? Geez, you're making me quite envious. And you're supposed to belong to me, you naughty boy.
The bathtub and sink are sparkling clean. There's not even one speck of stuff.
Hey, Haruki, you got any uncensored porn? Let's throw a screening party.
It seems neither of you have changed even though it's a new year. The day I resumed communication with the outside world, the usual duo came knocking on my door. They complained and scolded me for my irresponsible treatment of them, all the while carrying heavy grocery bags full of beer and food supplies in their hands.
You even used disinfectant? Did you have to be so thorough with your cleaning?
I just finished cleaning up the place from top to bottom, that's why. So, not only did I have to clean up and do the laundry for the whole day today, I had to start cooking again. And as might be expected, my whole body is crying out in pain after having been idle for the past few days.
You were cleaning up today? Why didn't you get that done before the year changed? You don't miss out on things like that every year, though. Do you, Haruki?
This guy went on a ski trip with his classmates during the New Year's holiday. And he only received the invitation last minute, I've heard.
Is that so, Haruki?
Yeah. Takiya's nonchalant follow-up hurts my heart. I won't lie anymore. It's because I made that decision that I invited these two over. Nevertheless, I've attempted to eliminate all traces of a certain person from this place while going along with the flow and making excuses. In the end, I'm in a state where I've yet to come to a proper resolution.
Oh, here's a suspicious DVD. Still, you only got one R-rated disc, huh?
That's, School year 2000, second day stage event. That's, a while ago I had a chance to go back to the school on work-related business, and at that time... Do you want to watch it? Despite our current situation, the fact that Takiya found that particular item causes me to act in an increasingly awkward manner.
Did you already watch it, Haruki?
Yeah?
I see.
Having said that, Takia continues to hold the disc in her hand. Takia continues to hold the disc in his hand. Is he hesitating to watch it with those present? Or is he puzzled over why I'd accept such a thing? There, food's done. Clear the table for me?
Right. That sure took long. Well then, I'll be helping myself to some beer.
In the end, after playing around with the disc for a while and repeating other meaningless drivel, he quietly puts it back on the shelf. The way he's acting suggests that my close friend, who finally visited me after so long, has yet to return to his usual self.
Oi, Eo! We're about to start!
I told you, stop calling for me like that. Huh?
What's wrong? Did you find a woman's bra in there?
Are there actually any bras meant for men?
Not falling for it, huh?
What are you talking about? Of course I wouldn't fall for that. Why do you think I went through all the effort of doing a thorough cleaning? Oh, I do feel a little uncomfortable about the fact that he seems to have figured me out. I guess I still don't have a good grasp of my distance with these guys. It's nothing. Hand me a can of beer too, Takia.
Yeah, here. Well then, is everything ready? Let's begin with Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! Let's treat each other well this year too, Haruki.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for the kindness you have shown me last year. I would very much appreciate your continued guidance and support this year. Therefore, allow me to offer you my most sincere greetings for the new year.
Hold on. What's with that long-ass greeting? Stop imitating Haruki.
you know what? You guys should just go home. As we remain in a wafting atmosphere that's slightly different from the usual, but also retains a little bit of the usual feel. The cold beer sliding down my throat tastes slightly more bitter than usual.
I'm stuffed.
I can't eat anymore.
You guys didn't have to wolf all your food down like that. The pot was perfectly emptied by the time we finished the rice porridge.
Can't help it. I've only been able to eat rice cake soup for several days straight, you know? I've had it with the osachi.
Should I have thrown some rice cakes into the pot as well? We still have lots of leftover black soybeans. I don't feel like eating at home for some time. If you bring them to me, I'll happily eat them all.
I don't feel like moving for a while. Haruki, I'm staying over tonight.
You don't have to tell me that. Should I make some tea?
Thanks for that.
Me too. Make it light, please.
Coming right up.
At last.
Say, Haruki, what happened between you and Setsuna?
Could you have picked a better time to ask that?
Unlike Takia, who was surprised by Io's sudden attempt to cut to the chase, somehow I was already prepared for this.
It seems that you two haven't gotten in touch with each other since Christmas, much less met each other. Anyone would think that something must have happened.
After all, Io had been stealing glances at me while we were eating and drinking like she had something to say.
Still, you didn't have to bring up the topic right after we just finished eating.
It's exactly because we're on a full stomach that I'm bringing it up now. It's easier to have a nice, calm conversation when we're all in a happy mood and can't think straight.
Just How strained were you imagining the conversation to be?
Hey, Haruki, is it really no longer possible between you and Setsuna?
Io. Even Io, who looked like she wanted to settle the matter quickly, didn't say anything in the 2 hours since she arrived. Each and every one of us knew what our gathering at my place was supposed to entail from the very beginning. But all of us also hesitated on delving into the subject. The two of them were fearful about the fact that their actions had the opposite effect and ended up hurting the friends that were closest to them. While a certain someone evidently has a reason far crueler than the two of them ever could possibly imagine.
You can at least tell us, right?
These guys have no idea that I've already divulged this to someone else. That I ended up seeking support from that certain someone. In the end, I wasn't able to forget. Even so, I said I had already forgotten. Even so, I said I had already forgotten. I lied. Setsuna saw through my lie. That's all that happened.
I can't believe you two.
Takia sighs in disappointment and then says nothing more. As for Io, she remained silent ever since I started talking and left all replies, refutes, and scoldings to Takia. It would appear that the 24th of December I'd shared with Setsuna was just that much worse than the two had imagined. The fact that I'm still hung up on Kazusa, and that Setsuna still can't get over how I feel about Kazusa. Sorry about that. You guys went out of your way to create this chance for me, but I messed it up. I've always thought that I needed to be condemned by Setsuna. I believed it was the path that we needed to take in order to return to being the school idol adored by all, and the class representative shunned by all. But at that moment, I had no idea that everything was about to come crashing down and fall apart.
So, did you apologize to her?
It's not a problem you can solve with a mere apology. It's something that only Setsuna would know.
Then solve it! Phone her however many times you need to, and apologize. Even if you have to get down on your knees, ask for her forgiveness.
If I do that, it will only cause Setsuna further pain. That's why Setsuna still adamantly refuses to admit that I did anything wrong up until now. She's done this not only for my sake, but for her own as well. I've always thought that there's no need for her to force herself any longer.
Even if that's the case, just make it up to her someday. For the amount of pain you're putting her through now, pay her back several times over.
Sorry. If you think about what this guy usually does, these are flimsy words that carry absolutely no weight. But the emotion overflowing from his expression and voice shows that he's far more serious than when he himself is the person involved.
Is there really no hope for you two?
I don't know. I just don't know. I truly don't know anything. I don't know how to return things to the way they were before Christmas, much less to how things were 3 years ago.
It's all a matter of your feelings. If you think it's no longer possible, then it'll turn out that way, you understand?
Besides, even if Setsuna allowed that, I don't know if it's even alright for me to go back to her with the way I am now. That's why I
Ran away from Setsuna and lived with another woman?
You know?
That travel set in the bathroom? I believe it was also there when we were here last time.
Travel set.
More than half the toothpaste is gone from what I just saw. It was brand new before.
What are you doing? Acting like a woman.
If that's the second toothbrush used to show off our lover status, then I'm certain that I took care of it during the day. Her handkerchief, cosmetics, and even condoms, which are shoved under my bed right now, all serve as evidence of that. As for that travel set, oh, that's right. I thought it was Io's or Takia's. After all, it was already there way before winter break even started. That woman did stay over once in the past, but there's no way she was prepared for a sleepover last time. But there's no way she was prepared for a sleepover that time, since it was an unexpected situation. Or could it be that it wasn't an unexpected situation to her back then?
I'll ask you one more time, Haruki.
But then, so what? Is there a need for me to shrink back like this? Did you end up bringing another woman back to your place because things didn't work out with Setsuna? I should have been frank with them from the start. I shouldn't have kept it a secret. It'd just be a little earlier than planned. They'd realized what I'm trying to tell them.
Io, you don't have to bring this up now. Besides, it's not like that's a big deal.
Stop applying your lack of common sense to Haruki. He's different from you.
Ow.
No. Would I have been able to bring myself to divulge such a disheartening truth to these long-standing friends of mine? Had I known that, I would have been able to settle things with Setsuna simply by coming clean to them.
Did you end up receiving comfort from another woman?
So, this is it. In other words, my punishment from God for being a selfish coward? Is that what this is, basically?
Were you in each other's arms when Setsuna was crying alone?
That's right.
You! I can't believe you!
You idiot! Why didn't you feign ignorance?
My two friends got angry at me for two completely opposite reasons.
Doing the exact same thing you did 3 years ago? Just how many times do you have to go wrong before you're satisfied?
Sorry.
You think a sorry is enough? Don't you understand? Your cheating is not a simple matter of being unfaithful.
Io's words were pretty much what I expected. But even so, it still brought me pain. I am once again reminded of my lack of resolve.
Getting into a casual relationship, messing around, and acting on a whim? You don't do those kinds of things, Haruki. So then why?
No, you're wrong. I can't embrace someone if I'm just messing around. I don't fall in love with someone on a whim.
You won't be able to go back anymore, you understand? You won't be able to forgive yourself if Setsuna forgives you, and that will hurt her even more.
However, those words from my mouth dissipate in the air, and it also made me realize my own stupidity. That's why I'm no good. Io's been saying that all this time.
You learn nothing from your past mistakes. What are you doing? Seriously, what are you thinking?
Io's eyes brim with tears of frustration. She's seriously reprimanding me with all her heart. But even so, she shows no signs of forsaking me. Apart from the other person present, namely Takia, she's someone I consider a friend. One whose tendency to meddle with others' business seems to be almost limitless, much like mine.
Hey, Io.
What?
That's exactly why. Take care of Setsuna, even if you decide to never see me again. Stay a good friend to her. Exactly why I can entrust to her someone who is so important to me.
How could you give up on Setsuna like that? How could you give up on her?
Do you even have to ask? For what reason did you think I kept a reasonable distance from Setsuna for 3 years? It's because of this yearning for Setsuna inside of me. This disgusting, opportunistic feeling of mine.
Lend me your cell phone.
Why?
Isn't it obvious? I'm going to call that woman who was here.
No, it has nothing to do with her. That's the one thing I absolutely won't allow. What she was about to do might feel like shameless meddling to others, but to me, it was within expectations. After all, it's a method that I've used countless times before when mediating for Takia.
There's no point in trying to act cool now. It's all because you betrayed Setsuna that the situation became this complicated.
I know the fault's all on me, but even so, I can't involve her in this. But right now, I clearly reject Io's meddling in my business.
Do you treasure that woman that much?
Do you even have to ask? In a flash, Io slapped me on my left cheek this time, because there's another feeling sprouting inside me. A desiring feeling. A feeling that cherishes that particular person. It's a new emotion. One that's the worst of the worst of the worst.
You bastard!
Just stop, Io. Takia, who had just been letting Io vent out her anger, reaches out with his hands as if to hug the girl who's now sobbing.
I think it's best for Haruki and Setsuna-chan to put some distance between themselves for a while.
Shut up! Let go of me!
Even so, Io doesn't seem satisfied and brushes Takia's hands aside in a fit of frustration.
Don't put all the blame on Haruki. It's our fault too for trying to bring them back together forcefully, remember?
But Haruki ran away! He's just running away from reality! That's not like him at all!
Haruki's also feeling pretty hurt right now. We could at least be a little considerate of that.
But Takia doesn't give up today. He grabs Io's shoulders, forces her to face him, and carefully chooses his words.
I can't forgive him! It's too unfair to Setsuna! There's no way I could forgive that! There's no way I can forgive him?
Io.
Even while Io pushes away Takia's hands, she looks up at him with eyes seeking understanding. It was an expression that Io would never show to the person in front of her now, if she were her usual self.
Takia, you know.
Even I, who's on the receiving end of her verbal attacks, find that unexpected crying face of hers alluring. That's why, when faced with a frail Io, unlike her usual self, Takia pulls her in close.
What's so wrong about running away?
Takia? But his words and behavior afterward weren't what I expected or hoped for.
Setsuna-chan was the one who rejected him, wasn't she? Why is Haruki taking all the blame?
Hey, hold on. What are you... Takia, what are you saying?
Just how many years will it take to erase his sins? How many years should he be held liable for a crime of love?
They're at a distance close enough to kiss, but the words weaved by his mouth are of denial, irony, and depravity.
What's wrong with running to another woman after being rejected by the one you love and ended up having your heart unable to take it?
Just what the hell are you saying?
Stop it, Takia. It's all my fault. I realized why those sorts of words keep coming out of Takia's mouth. But what about Io?
Who says you have to wait obediently until the one person turns around to look at you again? Is there any guarantee that it will ever happen in the first place?
What? Why are you saying those things, Takia?
You'll probably never understand. If it's you who's always playing hard to get and bossing guys around.
You idiot.
Shut up.
Wasn't that a big chance for you? I think it'd have gone well for you if you just kissed her right then.
If I did that, I'll be the butt of your jokes for life.
Just how many years do you plan on continuing with this unrequited love of yours? You should have just sided with her and gotten angry at me.
Couldn't help it, now could I? If what you did should be considered a crime, I'm already long overdue for a death sentence.
That's why you're always turned down by your dream girl, you paper tiger.
Hey, Haruki. If she's going to keep supporting Setsuna-chan, then I can take your side without reservation.
You idiot. We had a cool, albeit pathetic exchange as we sat back to back, not caring if even a single girl was watching us. January 11th, Tuesday. It's so cold. As always, the wind blowing in through the window is so cold that it's prickling my skin. Having somehow been the first to arrive in the lab after a while since the end of winter break, the piercing cold from outside is unfettered, despite the fact that I'm indoors. Yes, I was the first one here. There wasn't anyone else present. Not even a sleeping bag for me to accidentally almost step on. Oh, I guess that's only natural. She never was the kind of diligent person who would arrive on campus right after winter break, especially before first class. It's been a week since Chiaki left my apartment. I hadn't given her a call, even once, and there weren't any calls from her end either. I had been desperately trying to return to my old self. Waking up at 6:30, eating breakfast, resuming my part-time jobs, coming in contact with people other than Chiaki. I was working on returning to society, to return to being the Kitahara Haruki everyone would recognize. That's exactly why I couldn't be pampered by Chiaki during that process. I stopped my hand from reaching for my cell phone many times now. As for Chiaki, well, she's just fickle. Even so, now that university has resumed, there's no use in trying to avoid each other anymore. Since that's the case, I decided last night to take the initiative and go meet her so we could talk about things. How does she feel about me right now? Did she only comfort me as a friend in a way beyond how a friend would? Or have her feelings begun to run deeper than that? However, regardless of what it is she feels about me, I need to decide what to do about my own feelings. After that, we'll confront each other with our answers, and then try to decide on the future path we should be taking. But this is Chiaki we're talking about, so she'll probably just laugh and say, "What, Haruki? You've gotten all serious about this just because we've slept together a lot?" As if she doesn't really care about it at all. But, well, before all that, I should attend my lecture. I want to thank her. After a week, I want to see her listless face again. I'll come back and check again in the evening. She'll most likely be here sleeping leisurely then. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and all that. Well, looks like Io and Takia figured out what, or more accurately, who, Haruki was doing during the Christmas break. I didn't expect Io to be hit as hard as she did. I guess she's getting angry in Setsuna's stead, because Setsuna seems to feel guilty about it all instead of angry. It is all just a huge mess.